Welcome to Ancient Wisdom. Let's get into the show.
So I don't know about you guys, but I actually kind of felt sadness when I saw this picture.
Subscribe, question mark.
Because that...
He's having such a good time.
So is the robot who knows emotion.
Oh my God, she's loving it. They're both having such a good time. Yeah, I feel nothing. I feel great. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, I've been seeing more and more of these, man. They're everywhere.
So that's it. There's really
All right, get this out of my face.
There's no such thing as trad life anymore.
Oh, is that what you're saying?
And
the online ideology doesn't work, so you agree with her.
And she's probably speaking to her interpretation of the online ideology.
Okay.
But it's just like women shouldn't be able to define that term, what tradcon means.
Yeah, good point. But I think the message, the bottom line is like, you're an e-girl. You can't have a trad life. You're still doing your online stupid content. You're still just like a man with a bunch of makeup. You're like that girl with the huge lips.
She mixed it up really badly. She says the online ideology doesn't work in the real world.
Oh.
She should have flipped those online and real.
Yeah, true.
Right? The real world ideology doesn't work online.
Because online, she doesn't get it. Online is fake. You're an influencer online. Am I crazy here? Do you guys get what I'm saying?
I do.
You're an online influencer. You're already breaking your rules. You're not trad. You can't be trad.
She already said that it came from the internet.
Isn't that funny? It came from the internet. As if trad life didn't exist, for the last millennia. Yeah. Oh my God. It just started now, but it doesn't work anymore, even though it just started when the internet started.
It's an online trend.
Fucking stupid. So I don't feel bad for her.
Yeah, how'd you like to marry that and you want some breakfast, but she's, no, I have to film this video by the deadline at 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah, dog. Well, I'll give you some breakfast. A knuckle sandwich! Hit the next one. Oh, dare it.
I'm intimidated.
I love this one. Now, guys, I don't know. You guys might not like this as much as I thought this was so fucking funny. This fat, like, tea... lacking, deficient nobody is about to knock you out because you're a transphobe. He's going to give you a knuckle sandwich.
He's also going to break his hand.
Yeah. No, he's got too much fluff on that hand. He won't break nothing.
His goatee without a mustache.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I could be writing headlines for show, but guys, we got a brand new Christian. Russell Brand!
Oh, Brand.
Did you hear about this? He says he's a Christian now.
He's flipping all sorts of trades.
He's officially a Christian.
He's flipping all the tables.
Flipping, turning, twisting, upside down, and
He's
backwards.
Baptized.
He was like, there was a picture of him hugging a bunch of like new age dudes in a river.
What?
And you know what I'm happy for? That's how you get baptized, how Jesus did it, whatever. But I just thought this was such a surprise because he's such a new age guy. Tattoos and drugs and
this was the ultimate
spirit.
flip from the left to right. With Russell Brand for me. I was like, wow, I did not expect this.
Right. I still don't think he would admit that he's right wing, but right wing just kind of means logical now.
Well, good for him.
Good for him.
Well, I'm glad he's logical.
Good for him. So we're having fun, right? So let's get into the real show. And I just had a lot of random thoughts this week. So let's just discuss, have some fun, see what we could get into. I was thinking about America and how it sucks. Do you agree?
Agreed.
America kind of sucks right now. It's not what it used to be. It's probably still the best in the world, unfortunately. But I mean, what are we gonna do? Say that Lauren Southern's marriage is the best? Just because it is. And I had this thought that, like, what makes America better than Chicago and Baltimore? Could America be better than its worst city? Could a chain? What do they say? A chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
Good question.
Right?
That's a tough one, man.
We might as well be in Kosovo.
Yeah.
We might as well be with Kim Jong-un.
A lot of people argue that the country's only as strong as its military.
Oh, there it is. And then
as long as our military is still holding up, maybe we're still good despite the general online presence.
Well, see, the government is good. The country is good, depending on how you define it. Well, yeah, I'll say the government is good, right? The government can protect itself. But what is the government? If everybody hates the government and the rules that the government creates a country from,
sounds like feudalism.
Yeah, we're back. We're back in ancient times. I mean, not the good ancient times, the dark ages.
Especially if you can't vote for who you want to represent you. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's the people.
And everyone's bought off, too, not to mention.
But it's definitely the people that make up these terrible cities, and these people are everywhere that would love to go to Chicago on a weekend vacation.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say about the workforce, the industry in America. You know, we were a powerhouse when we made everything.
Everything, man.
We made everything.
Nothing we weren't making.
We made the first things of most things.
Yeah.
Like the first few models, the first few runs of most inventions.
True. Now our main export is culture because like we're still living on that hype train.
And you know what? I got to say, the rest of the world, I don't think they're buying new American culture. They still think that we're the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they don't want this culture.
Right,
They don't want that Chicago culture.
If you go to Asia...
Even though Europe's buying it already.
Yeah, they are. But if you go to like a backward European country, I'm going to say, you know, maybe not that backward, but like Poland.
Okay. Backward.
Yeah. So Poland's in the 90s and early 2000s in music right now.
Yeah, they like our stuff from 15, 20 years
Damn,
ago.
those poor sons of bitches don't know what's coming.
They don't know what's coming. Yeah. They also just elected a liberal president.
Oh, finally did it, huh? Is that like the first one ever?
Yeah, they're going through the whole thing.
Oh, gee. Why does this have to happen? Is this just a human crisis, you guys think? Is this something that we have to go through? Like, just to see what it's like, you know, a teenager has to rebel.
The angst against your parent. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right? Oh, conservatism. You know, I could be gay if I want.
Yeah. When I went to Poland a few years ago, I was living in the villages, so I didn't see it. But there was a big, like, liberal bastion in the town.
Yeah, there's always that.
Missed, right? Because I was out there.
Yup.
So
always that little section, man. Always somebody, and they find each other. God damn it! And you know, it's only in the freest countries, of course, when you can do stuff like that. At least back in feudalism, they'd slap you down if you got together and protested. But we don't even do that. Well, they're doing that, but only for Israel.
Part of me thinks that this culture is just representing everything, all energy in the world, where it's just coming in big waves of ups and downs, and it's just like our present culture might be a very deep trough of misery and terrible culture, but you know, I guess it's always got to be like that.
I guess just definitionally, it kind of has to get better.
Right. I feel America's bad right now because America is like the billboard for the world right now.
Yeah.
Maybe because like when you go to America, you're like, I want to see what the world is thinking. What's the big thing in the world? And maybe we kind of get too tied up in that, you know? Maybe we should stop being the world's billboard.
And I like that. And it kind of goes both ways, right? Everyone's like, America, not realizing that we kind of suck now. It's this whole concept of going too far, like we talked about last week, that woman with the huge lips. You take a good thing and you go too far because your imagination gets...
It wasn't a good thing to start with.
You know, well, some blacks like thick lips and booties. I'm not about it, but...
I mean, not to change the subject, but big lips it doesn't do anything for you or against you.
Right.
It's like, I'll take you how you are.
I like the natural, but maybe we're just crazy. But then, of course, you know, you could say the opposite, where it's like, and then people in America always like, oh, you're not cultured if you don't leave America. When I think America has the lowest percentage of passport holders in the world.
Yep,
nobody wants to leave. And I'm 50-50. You guys have any thoughts about that? Like, I'm kind of like, if the country was good, I would never have to leave. We have it all. It's sea to shining sea. Got two oceans, baby. Two.
Mitch, every country I've been to, I wanted to come back, except Japan.
Oh,
that was the only one that convinced me.
I still dream of Japan.
I was like, all right, this country kind of figured it out.
God, I've been dying. I just had to get my miso soup this morning. I finally got the miso.
But every other country, when I came back, I was like, oh, American coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know what the world is doing with coffee, man.
Yeah,
I really have no clue.
Damn, I feel like Robert Downey Jr. after he got captured from Iron Man. An American cheeseburger.
American burger.
Whatever the fuck he said.
Yep. Yeah, man.
An American cheeseburger.
That was his first demand when he got out of prison.
Fuck you. No, but yeah, kind of. But that was the idea. Everyone wants to live in Iron Man, New York. Everyone wants to live in Iron Man, America, where that actually means something.
And when they visit here, too, they don't know that New York sucks. Like, I had to take this foreign girl to New York City for close to Christmas
you had
time.
To show her the truth.
Oh, God, everybody needs to see it.
She got shoved by a Muslim guy. We both were like in grueling pain at the end of the day from all the walking in close quarters.
Wow.
You're just not used to living in that close proximity when you're more rural and apart from people.
Yeah, seriously. I had friends from South America who needed to see the ball drop in New York for New Year's. I said, y'all could see it. I'll tell you how to get there.
The whole ball drop crowd is foreigners.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
America.
America, we got to see the ball drop once. Come on.
I guess I also wanted to talk about Israel finally invades Rafah. Israel's hated by the world.
I wish I had more on that one, but I haven't been watching the news.
Okay, yeah, we don't got.
Rafah's Egypt, isn't it?
Rafah is the last city in Gaza, right before Egypt.
Oh, just there. From
the
Exodus.
last one. So they've conquered the entire Gaza Strip, and they're right next to Egypt now. And the last bastion is like one city where there's 1.5 million refugees.
So what the world is like? Are they gonna? Don't do it. Don't go too far.
You got it, pal. So
After all that,
dude, the world was fine with them taking revenge, even 20-fold, which I think it is right now.
Yeah.
Allegedly 20-fold revenge as far as people killed and whatnot, and most of it's women and children, of course. But everyone said, okay, enough is enough, from whether it's Trump or Biden or every country in the world. But Israel's like, no, they don't care. They don't care about being hated. They want to like exterminate this entire area. And there was also this thing the other day where they're doing land auctions for beachfront property now. Dirt cheap.
let me see if I can pull
Get
up a
yours
map.
now.
Oh, in Israel.
In Israel, on the Gaza, on the Mediterranean.
Yeah, but you got to fend for yourself for a while if you're going to buy it.
No, you just got to rebuild.
Oh.
Because it's all Israel now.
Oh, I
They
see.
conquered Gaza. There is no Gaza anymore.
Whoa.
Now it's just beachfront property that's up for sale. But you got to clear, a few hospitals and universities. But you
Jeez.
got Mediterranean beachfront property. I'm kind of convinced more than ever, sort of because of this and because of America collapsing, more than ever, that it really is the 5% versus the 95%. What do you guys think about this? There's no political parties. I am convinced of it. I am convinced.
Yeah.
I'm past all this nonsense. There is no right-left politics. It's the government versus everybody else.
The wealthiest or just the government?
The wealthiest who are in bed with the government, who are in bed with pharmaceuticals, who are in bed with the doctors, the insurance companies,
weapons manufacturers.
and now food, GMO. Bill Gates is trying to lock that. They're trying to lock down the entire world of the corporate world of what humans need to survive to enslave the rest of us, because we already are. We're so dumb. Fox News is as left as it gets right now.
So-
I'm a left-wing extremist now.
So
According to Fox.
According to the
Yeah.
world of culture. Think about this,
right.
guys. I'm a left-wing extremist right now because I never changed, but culture has changed.
Yeah.
And now I'm here protesting on college campuses.
I feel the same way with some coworkers who are supposedly
That's just
right-wing.
what it is,
I'm
yeah.
left of them because I
Right-wing, you watch
Yep.
Fox News, you're You're
I-
nobody. You're stupid.
will bring up the argument of like, yeah, I'm not for wars and I don't want either side to win.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it's just like, well, I think this place
That means
deserves
you're a
to
white
defend
supremacist.
themselves.
Yeah, defend themselves. Like these people don't even know. That's what I'm realizing too. Even you guys, not even to talk shit, but it's just like, it's kind of hard. It's complicated. It's ancient history. You kind of have to read the Bible. You have to kind of know the geography, the topography. You got to keep up
this
with
is
it
a
because things are
lifetime
moving
of
so
education
fast.
to even understand.
Oh,
the situation.
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
It goes back to the one of the Tao readings the past week, or just one of the ancient quotes of you. If you think you know, you don't know. It's like, why even try to know about a world?
Oh, yeah.
A war happening so far away.
Yeah, that's so deep. A war happening for really anything, but yeah, a war far away. Don't you know that you don't know?
Even if you were there,
you know?
you don't have the espionage intel. You don't know the
Deep.
generals giving all the
Even
orders.
if you were there.
Even if you were a resident.
Even if you're there, you're living in one city. You don't know what's going on in the next city. Think about
Yep.
this, guys. You don't know what's going on in the town. You don't know what's going on in the house next door. But you know? Why? Because somebody said something? It's foolish. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you become closer to enlightenment the more you realize you don't know. And, I don't know, want to preserve human life? Don't want to kill women and children?
Sounds
And the
pretty
world
radical.
knows this. The government has known this because, hey, they're like, hey, Jews, you're kind of looking real bad right now.
Yeah, we had you up to
Everybody's-
one point, but-
Yeah, we even let you get 10 times, 20 times revenge. But, Rafa, come on. You can't exterminate the region. You killed most of them, but you can't completely wipe out the region, guys. And it was like, fuck you, dog.
Yep.
I do what I want.
Look, the world.
Even though they're a state of America. America created them through generosity.
I swear that reminds me. It's exactly like a movie plot, and it happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you created a monster. It's basically Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We invented Frankenstein in the lab,
And it's,
after a
oh,
war.
man,
and
deep.
there's so much land we've we've created.
Set it loose on the world.
Yeah.
To fulfill biblical scriptures.
And now people are getting their pitchforks, their torches,
Oh my God.
So-
the equivalent to these gigantic weapons that they have to use against the
Wow, dude.
peasant.
It's
So
coming
whoever's in
back.
charge, I think it's the World Economic Forum now. Whoever's in charge.
Yeah.
Whoever's in charge forgot about one of the most important things and the most powerful things in humanity. And they thought they could figure out everything, but they forgot about the power of religion and how crazy it can make people. They forgot about the need for people to have to follow their religion and worship. And defend it. They forgot about that. That's not included in You Own Nothing.
Or had the hubris to think that they could wipe it out or say like, religion's part of the past. And then come to find out the numbers are the opposite now. I think there's more religious people than ever supposedly now.
Definitely growing.
And I kind of believe it because the world is this balancing act where the more you try to take it, the more I want to do it. And for better or for worse, as we talked about before, but the rebellious teen spirit comes around. But now the hipsters of the 80s are now like the religious fanatics. Think about it. You're cool now if you like talk about Christ.
Right. Like
Everybody
Russell.
thinks you're dope. Yeah. Oh, Russell, man. You clout shit. No. Russell.
But I mean, it organically worked on him. It just happened to him because he was the hipster and now he's religious.
Yeah. And
that's
if you're
what happened to
open to it,
Kanye.
you see the world. Yeah.
With Kanye's glasses, his shade shutter glasses.
Oh, yeah. That's
so
right.
hipster.
Stupid ass. Trying to be cool.
Can't even see shit.
But then I think about that's why nothing good ever really happens. Kind of like I was thinking about it sort of ends up being a selfish accident. What do you guys think about this, right? Like, think about it, right?
Yeah.
You know, clean water, for example. I could give the world clean water and everyone says, oh, that's the best thing that the West did. You know, one of the things of the many. But I also want clean water. We talked about this in a DAO as well, too. So there's no purely selfless act because I also benefit from that. So I got right here, right? There's culture which reigns supreme. There's only culture that matters and how we respond to it and try to manipulate it. Like the abortion debate, for example. We might have even talked about on the show how President Trump, whether he believes in abortion or not, cannot win on abortion.
That's right. I remember that.
Right? What do you guys think about this? There's certain things that you have to do, and we live in this cultural world where, especially now with the internet telling us how to feel, how to act, how to do everything, you kind of, to even get into power, you have to pretend as if we're back to the art of war. We're back to the Prince, Machiavelli.
Is this why he's saying give it to the states?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like
because he can't take a side on it.
Yeah.
It hurts his
It would be
campaign.
absolutely.
And you got to know your demographic because you might be able to win on that argument if it was pre-1919,
Yes.
but now you cannot.
Culture, follow the culture. Now
Yep.
everyone's connected and they say, oh yeah, what about rape? What about women's right to do? Women are cool too. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. and all of a sudden, like that, like magic, culture, it's this magical thing. It's just what everybody believes at a given time. And you have to go along with that and try your best to manipulate culture. And that's why streamers, YouTubers are kind of running the game right now. They're making the most money because they control culture itself. Even they're victim to it, but you have to pull your Jewish tricks and edge people in the right direction. If you think a certain way, you can't just say, hey, here's the way. Otherwise, you'll never get on the platform.
Yep.
Otherwise, ancient wisdom will never get big.
That's why Trump should just lie about how he feels with the abortion thing
Yeah.
until it's time.
And
to
I
bring
think
the
that's
hammer.
exactly what he's doing. You know, a lot of criticism of Trump, it's totally founded. If you're like an actual dude who believes in light, love, and purity, you could say Trump's not our dude. He's the best dude we got.
Yep.
But if you really think about it, you got to get a little Machiavellian because this is power we're
Yeah.
talking about. And to get power, you kind of need to play these tricks. Like, I think about when he was applauding Lindsey Graham. Everybody hates Lindsey Graham, but he's like, oh, I'm going to change how you guys think. But he needs Lindsey. People don't talk about that.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, he kind of needs his support.
He would never criticize.
And he's really saying, hey, guys, audience, everybody, like, come on, guys, I'm going to change how you're thinking.
I'm gonna
Like,
support him.
we need to support him because he's a very valuable asset. But all the hardcore right wing America, fuck you, man. This
Fire
guy's a piece of
everybody.
shit. Drain the swamp. And it's just like, this is just one dude staring down the crowd. And, you don't know what is what, of course. You really can never know what someone's doing just for power, what they're doing for altruism, if there even is such a thing. What he's getting out of it. So you really never know, but it's just something to consider in that realm. And I got to ask you, which leads me to ask you, what makes somebody real? Is it possible?
Ooh.
What makes somebody endearing?
That's hard, man. I don't.
Yeah, it's like deep. There's a lot to it, right?
I think it really has to do with humor.
Humor.
Yeah.
Very
you
interesting.
Make somebody laugh, you can get the keys to their house.
Oh,
Like,
very
just
endearing. You say
something,
that word like, oh, this guy's endearing. He's cool.
yeah.
Oh, man, Poach, I like that you said humor because how about this? How about this, right? Is humor intrinsic, if not the same, as spirituality? Are the humorists also spiritual? Because what is humor? Let's define it, right? I would say personally that it's sort of making light of a situation. What is making light of a situation? Not taking it so seriously. What is seriousness if not this realm that we're trapped in? Pain is serious. Suffering is serious. My anger is serious. I'm being serious right now. I'm serious.
I could agree that maybe people that are more humorous have a better relationship with God.
Okay, better relationship.
relationship.
Which makes which?
I believe that the relationship makes the humor. Because if the relationship is there, you kind of have this confidence, divine confidence, that what you're saying is not going to get you into trouble.
Humor is like a clue towards spirituality.
Yes, I think that's how I want to say it.
Nice.
And to access humor, I feel like you need to be in a
access
totally different state of mind than the serious and like life is hard and suffering. You have to be in a totally different mindset to access humor. And we've discussed it before, but it seems like humor or comedy, the essence of it is to just trick the observer to like shift their attention and go somewhere that they would have never expected.
It's misdirection.
Yeah.
Very similar to magic. That's why when you see a good magic trick, it's almost like a joke. You laugh, you're surprised by it because you didn't know where it was going. You didn't think it'd be behind your ear.
Tickles you fancy.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So I like that. I almost think personally, we gotta say that one could kind of lead to the other. I like Boja that it's a clue, but also the spirituality could lead to humor, but the humor could also sort of awaken the spirituality because it is taking things a little lighter or seeing it from a spiritual perspective, being open to seeing it from a spiritual perspective.
I think you're right because it seems that the universe is the most funny, unexpected thing of all.
Oh, yeah.
It's so
every
divine.
time.
It's so divine
The
and
best
godly.
joke yet.
The best joke yet.
And we don't even know the punchline yet. That's the craziest part.
Yeah, man. Ooh.
It's just everything's a punchline in nature.
So, I naturally think about comedians, right? Comedy, humor, comedians.
Naturally.
Not all comedians are close to God, right? Am I right? Am I right when I say this?
Probably right.
I think it's
so.
crazy.
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher, Amy Schumer. But then I could say Amy Schumer's not funny.
So she's not a comedian.
Therefore, she's not
Bill Maher
close
can
to
be
God.
funny.
Yeah.
Bill Maher could be funny, and I think some people are trying. With Bill Maher, it's always so hard. I feel like it's almost like the set. It breaks my heart when I think about dudes like Bill Maher, like this trying.
He's the one that I thought of when I was
trying to
thinking of
be
the
open.
humorism analogy. That's why.
Really?
That's why I
Yeah.
didn't say it's 100%.
Yeah.
Get you
It's a
closer.
clue. It's a closer,
yeah.
But maybe he's another one of those guys. He's got to know his demographic, so he knows it's popular in Hollywood to be an atheist and so outspoken about it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's really not, and he's just
He's pulling the Trump, just being
Yeah.
tactical, being Machiavellian about it.
He needs an
following
in.
the money because he's a Jew.
He needs an in to get his real comedy out there.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is the funniest stuff is never about him being an atheist.
All right, so one last question to kind of tie it in. I'm going to take the opposite approach and say, where do these shitty comedians go wrong? What makes the joke not work? What makes them not likable, not endearing? Now, I'd like to hear your thoughts, but I have a few kind of ideas here about maybe in the past, somebody didn't like it if you were too mean. You're being too mean, okay? But now that's not really a thing anymore. Now it's stuff like maybe I already know. Maybe you're being too activist. Like, who was that lesbian who her stand-up comedy was just about being raped?
Oh, so many.
That was like her whole skit. I'm like, none of that was
More than
funny.
one.
You're a comedian, but your whole thing was just talking about being raped.
There's Asians in every other race that go up there and
Gatsby or
self-deprecate
something.
about their race. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting angle because everyone hates white people, so you're trying to get away from that punchline or joke.
Yeah,
But it's like
exactly.
making jokes about yourself in comedy isn't it's overdone, I feel like, today.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, well put, dude. Every time,
I think you might have got your answer.
yo, I like it. Every time I would see this up and coming comedian, or it's like their first set, they'd pick the low hanging fruit, and it was funny, granted, but you could only use the joke once, which is, I look like a LeBron James who had a son with a McDonald's addicted Rosie O'Donnell. And he looks exactly like that. And you're like, that's so fucking funny. But then how many times can you make that joke? Like, you're not funny. You're just self-deprecating.
Yeah, it's a long set if you're going to keep going with that topic.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Right.
It's literally a one and done. You're not funny. You're just making an observation about yourself. And that's Mitch's segment. On to Ancient Quotes with Evan.
Man, good segment, Mitch.
Ooh.
Yes, we're returning to the eastern side of the world again today. From Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma has once said, all Buddhas preach emptiness. Why? Because they wish to crush the concrete ideas of the students. If a student even clings to an idea of emptiness, he betrays all Buddhas.
Betrays all Buddhas, my friend.
Betrayal.
This is betrayal. So Evan, what I want you to do is summarize that into what you hear him saying. What I hear you saying is...
What I hear you saying, Bodhidharma, is that even the biggest goal that they say is in Buddhism of emptiness, attaining emptiness of mind, even if you're focusing on that idea, you fail.
Damn, and there it is. Something about the world, right? When you bring heaven to earth, it's magical because you could say this word. This is one of my huge things. You could say the word emptiness, but it's a word. We have a problem differentiating that we're just creatures on this planet next to fucking apes, for Christ's sakes. We're not all that evolved. And we made a language. We made this thing called a language. And I'm using it right now. So I could attempt to copy what's going on in the universe and make you see what I see. That's what language was for. So we made this word called empty. But when we say the word empty, it becomes a thing in our realm. It's not just an astral concept anymore.
I like that.
It is, I have to now attain emptiness.
There was a predisposed emptiness. They started empty when they woke up. We have to battle for emptiness at every moment.
That feels real. Wow, yeah, that's right. I mean, wow, that's kind of deep. Of course, you know, there's always human nonsense. I believe in my heart there's always been human nonsense.
The day-to-day.
The day-to-day, if you will. But yes, certainly much less. You know, your wife's still going to bitch at you. Someone's going to steal your chickens. You know, but when you go outside your house, you see nature. It's not really hard to, there's nothing to unplug from. You could unplug from feeling a certain way about Raul down the street who cheated you in dice. But, yeah.
Raul.
Fucking Raul, dog, I'm telling you.
He stole the dice,
Can't trust him as far as you could. And the fact is that there's a lot more now going on. And within the nonsense becomes these words, such as emptiness.
I think it was even Bodhidharma who was saying something that Alan Watts always quoted, which is every human being has the inherent rascality within them.
Yes.
Irreducible rascality.
Yes, that is true.
So that's one thing you're always going to have to deal with.
And that kind of goes hand in hand with this idea of the fixing of self. You're trying to attain enlightenment by being empty, by emptying yourself. Think about, if you want to care about grammar, which you sound like you do, how does one empty self?
Man, I never thought about that until you tied grammar.
Oh, grammar, bitch!
How does an empty thing, or how does a thing that's meant to be empty itself?
There it is.
Whoa,
how does a bucket
crazy.
be like, I'm going to dump myself out?
Yeah.
Doesn't work. The grammar, the syntax is fundamentally wrong. And yet y'all people think that that's how it works because you think of emptiness.
Because if these Buddhist teachers were saying that the goal is verbally to be empty of the mind, yeah, that's a big trick.
Oh,
It's a big trick.
there it is.
Bodhidharma also said, people who don't see their own nature and imagine they can practice thoughtlessness all the time are liars and fools.
People who don't see their own nature and imagine they can practice thoughtlessness. They don't even see their own nature. People who don't see their own nature imagine they can practice thoughtlessness. Two things.
Two theses.
You have to not see your own nature and imagine you could practice thoughtlessness, are liars.
So it's a two steps. So the first thing you have to do is see your own nature.
Exactly. Complicated. Deep. Okay, I like where and that's why I ask, what nature? Are we talking about your nature, or the nature of the situation we're in, or the karma, humanity? What is this nature, and why can't I attain thoughtlessness? Why am I a fraud?
Yeah, definitely implying human nature for starters. I think definitely just people in general.
And the nature of the human is to be a fraud in that sense. Wow, this is too deep because it is Tao.
Yeah.
It is Tao, so it can't really be said.
Right.
But you are a fraud, so you're looking in the wrong place. It could be as simple as that.
Yeah, you can't practice thoughtlessness all the time.
Yeah.
It's just not, and
You are a fraud.
those Buddhist monks are funny like that because
Buddha!
they make you think that they do that, but in reality they're just like you, and they have to come out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Yeah.
that's the truth, man. Is that they're doing it, but they're dealing with it in the moment.
Yeah,
They can overcome it in the moment that it arises. They can see it and can sort of deal with it and watch it for what it is. But what this guy is saying, what Bodhidharma is saying, is you're identifying with what goes down the river. And that's the opposite concept of being thoughtless. You must realize one's own nature, to realize that that isn't even you to be attached to.
man, and the only way you can go with the river is if you get in and get along with the current. You just
Take a swim. Ooh, baby.
Taisen Deshimaru
Tyson.
once said, "Keep your hands open, and all the sands of the desert can pass through them. Close them, and all you can feel is a bit of grit." I think what he's saying here is that, wow, it's really the same thing as the river analogy. If you just allow the river to find its way, or the sand grains to naturally find their way around your hands, you'll experience every single drop or grit or grain.
Whoa, see, that's super deep.
But if you try to hold on to a small clump, even the clump will just like force itself out of your hands, and you'll be just left with one or two grains.
Yeah.
If you squeeze too hard.
that's left.
So the faster you constrict, the more you constrict, the more it escapes your grasp.
And that's all you identify with. What is in your hand? Like, what is it? It's the stream again. Are you going to watch it? Are you going to enjoy it? Or are you going to try to attain it? And it is way less than you could just enjoy.
Yep.
What you even have, if anything, and even that's an illusion. And I think about sometimes we think we attained something in this life. But isn't that fucking deep? That everything in the Tao, in the life, even what you're talking about comes down to this word poetry. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different karma. Even the quote itself is poetry, because he's telling you, much like a guru, he's telling you what it is through example. He can't tell you what it is, because what it is a poem. What it is the sand slipping through your hand. What it is the poem being spoken. A poem is just pointing at the truth the best you can. If I were to tell you what the truth is, I would be a liar, as we learned from our second quote. But if I just show you the poetry, maybe it's that clue towards spirituality, that clue toward you opening up, because we have different karmas. You can't be me, I can't be you. But we could try to communicate. We could try to connect on a deeper level. It won't work. But isn't there something beautiful in trying? Damn. On the Poge's deep thoughts of the day.
I don't even know what these mean. I woke up and wrote this down. So my Poge's thoughts for modern life. Number one of the day. Don't go off the grid, but go off the chain.
Oh, the chain.
That's the new album.
Use the grid to your advantage once you're freed.
Yeah, man.
What I'm trying to say here,
Yeah, what do you feel from that?
it hit me. You know, it hit me before I even knew what it meant.
Hell yeah.
Understand how to use the grid around you. Don't be like one of those crazy off the gridders and leave everything you know to go chop trees and build a new house. Leave the things that make you feel like you wanted to go off the grid in the first place.
Deep.
If it's something that says if you want to go off the grid, what made you feel that? Get rid of that.
Man.
Yeah.
Yo, get off the grid in your heart.
Get off the chain.
Get off the chain, as Poe said it. You want to go off the grid this way, but Poe just saying, you should go off the grid here.
Yes.
Whoa, that is very deep.
Identify why you even wanted to get off the grid. Sick.
I like that. Yeah, because it's what's the cause of making you go so extreme to leave everything?
That's
when
what they
could just
do.
leave a few things that are giving you problems.
That's where the gay phrase came from. I hope you find what you're looking for.
You were really chained up and you didn't realize it, and you're blaming the whole grid. Dude, when I was in South America, when I went to Peru, I was like, why the hell am I here?
And then it hit me like a ton of bricks, like a ton of Peruvian Inca stones.
Like, I wasn't thinking like, wow, what an amazing place. I was like, why am I here? That's what I thought. That was what really hit
what
me.
have I done?
Yeah.
You start questioning your life. And then otherwise you end up like that dude from Into the Wild and you're a frozen popsicle in Alaska in a bus.
Wow, that's right.
Remember that guy?
He went off the grid.
He was off the grid. He
All
sounded
the
like he had
way.
some fun adventures, but yeah, he took it a little too far. He was living in like a bus, like an abandoned school bus.
that, like,
the
broke
floods
down.
got too big and boxed him into.
Yeah,
a little
he was
island.
like teaching birds to come eat from his hand and stuff. Like he was with nature.
But I bet you there was something just chaining him. It
Yeah.
wasn't the grid. It was something
Yeah.
that was chaining him.
For sure.
Something.
Something going on, something deeper.
He didn't have to leave all of society.
He didn't realize there was like a city 3 miles down the river that he could have been
Where his
saved.
best friend was waiting.
You can't get rid of the grid, but you gotta get rid of the chain that's holding you to the grid once in a while.
Oh, that's cool.
Visit the
Visit
grid.
the
now and
grid.
again. Grid now and again.
Nice. I think we got to the bottom of it.
Very good. Glad you guys like that one.
Sick. That was good. That was a good one.
The second
Go
thought
on.
I had when I
yeah.
woke up today, God does not want worship. Praise him through your actions. And this is probably an obvious one that many people have thought of.
Oh.
But the reason I said he does not want worship, man, I don't know if God cares if you go to church every week. I think that's more for us. I don't think this being needs any worship at all.
Yeah, it reminds me of what the quotes you were saying earlier, where it's just like, how do you know that you're doing the right form of worship? And who's to say? I agree with that statement that Poe said it has to be actions, because worship, there could be so many people worship in so many ways, but that's
You
not
saying it
necessarily-
has to be actions, Evan?
Um,
Was Poge saying it has to be actions?
I was saying praise him through your actions.
praise him through. I like that better.
but
yeah.
that's a
not
form
want
of
worship.
worship. That's
Yeah.
a form of worship, maybe, though. I think that the definitions of
What's
words
the
kind of
difference?
confuse things. Well, I guess my mind is telling me how other people worship, like going out in the streets and like kneeling down in the street 4 times a day facing Mecca.
I was specifically
You know, those
thinking about going to church, by the way. To
Okay,
clarify.
so
Yeah.
Poge was thinking. So I got this a little deeper, but I'm a little more succinct.
Go for it.
Which is, God doesn't want you wasting your time. I like the going to church thing. It's very deep because it is just for you. Everyone I know who goes to church does it for themselves because they feel better. They
That's why I would
feel
go.
at peace. That's why you go. Maybe you feel bad. You did something. Oh, man. Let me put some effort in. It's the very human thing to do. Let me go put some effort in and tell God that I'm really sorry about this. And I want to say that that's kind of step one to the religious experience. Step one is saying, if you could even just do this, step one, I'm wrong. I did something wrong and I know it. Something within me, call it grace, is telling me I did something wrong. I feel bad. Therefore, I'm going to pray. I'm going to go to church. I'm going to do any of these things.
I like that idea of steps. There being well, especially the first step might be
Yeah.
the only step of just realizing, hey,
It's the biggest one. If you
I'm
could do
wrong
that,
about
great.
this. Right.
That's why I do like people that go to church, because it's the same concept. I feel it deeply when I say these people are trying. They've
Yep.
made a deep, difficult revelation that I am the problem,
They left their house for God.
and they left their house for God. And 2024, that means a lot. Very deep, well put. But I feel like at a certain point, though, that I see this in many people close to me who go to church, it just sort of, or pray all the time. It adds to the neuroticism Like these Muslims who have to pray toward Mecca 6 times a day. That's neurotic. That's not holy. God wants you to do that. He gave you life on this earth so you could waste it all praying and looking like a on the subway.
At certain times too. That doesn't seem very from God.
Isn't that neurotic?
Yeah.
That's not from God.
You're making me think of the
dogmatic.
Rosary. You're making me think of the Rosary.
Rosary, yes.
50 Hail Marys.
But that, see, exactly right. But how did that start?
Similar.
It started off as a Western meditation. The Rosary started to get you into a place to accept God, to be. It was the Western form of meditation.
So
not many people think about it.
It wasn't
that
the
way.
goal. It was the entry point.
Right.
Kind of, to get
Absolutely.
Into
It was opening the door. It was putting yourself in a state where you could accept God. You could be open to it. But then it became, like you said, if you don't say 50 and however many are fathers, I don't know.
It's like Mitch only did 46.
Mitch only did 46. He was
stopped at the
cheating
last
today.
one.
God knows. Yeah.
And that's exhausting too. I was telling you guys about that story where the Catholic priest I saw, he was blessing a bunch of items for people after a service.
Yeah.
And on the final one, there was like a dozen of them. He's like, took a breath before his last.
That's Dow.
His last Latin blessing.
That is Dow.
It was so funny. Just like, finally done. Like, in a sense, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
His
Which
sigh.
is deep because that's real. He's like,
Right.
all right, only so much of this God business I can take.
What if his
Exactly.
body couldn't handle any more blessing? What if that was like
Could be.
a Dark Souls, like his bar was
Damn, he's
full
drained.
or he was about to light on fire?
His
If he
super
blessed
move
one
was
more,
coming out.
If
Yeah.
he blessed one more time, the robes would ignite.
I like
Does that feel real?
I like that. It is deep, but I was surprised that the Catholic going people laughed at that joke. It was, he spoke to everybody, and it wasn't like no Catholics go like, "What? He's a priest. This is what he does.
Oh,
he should be
good.
getting tired." You know, I thought it was cool that people
Oh,
laughed.
maybe laughing is step 1.5. That's what I'm going to say. Then you start laughing. Then you say, hey, but isn't that interesting, y'all? Isn't that interesting? Suspicious, if you will. Interesting. You go to church because you're serious. I'm serious about God. I need forgiveness.
This is serious.
This is serious. This is a problem. I am sinful. I might be going to hell. I've done a lot of wrong in my life. And yet you're laughing at church? At a priest who just made a joke about he doesn't even want to be here right
That's
now?
not very serious.
No, that's not
About
very
God.
serious.
It's not on fire for the Lord.
Isn't that interesting? There seems to be these competing ideas.
Spirits.
Spirits. So I think I want to say that that's step 1.5, where you're like, oh my God, this priest is nobody to worship, just like the God and the idols of this church. God is in my heart, dude.
Man.
He's in the spirit that the pastor felt as he was sighing, as he was telling the joke. These are just all clues towards opening up to the Tao and God.
It had nothing to do with the service, because after the service, but that seems like the most deep part of the church experience that day.
Isn't that funny? Because you could stop like being so tight and having shortness of breath. You could
Right.
find, oh my God, this is God. We're all laughing together at this spiritual experience that maybe is even silly at the time.
Shortness of
That's
breath
super cool.
Shortness of breath is a good
Tightness of the chest.
good description, because
Standing
that's
up too
exactly
straight.
how I felt going to that Latin mass, because I hadn't been to a Catholic church for a long
You're like-
time.
Because
You
you,
guys
walk in,
laugh
you say,
at
this
church?
is serious.
I gotta stop going to Polish church. Get some laughs in.
Too serious.
I think you guys
I
got
feel
it.
Yeah,
like
we
we
hit
got
it.
to the bottom of it.
Yeah, we got it.
And the final thought I had this morning before I ate my breakfast, I said to myself, avoid gurus because they will not let you grow. Damn. They will not.
Oh, these spirits come to be.
Oh, the spirits.
That's a big
The
intro.
spirits.
Come to me.
Don't do me wrong.
Come to me.
I don't even know what I was doing. Wow. Yeah, I think gurus are dope.
Controversial take.
Controversial in this room. Oh no, I think gurus are dope. I just don't think they exist anymore. You know what I mean?
Classic.
I think, everyone on YouTube is just which is guru spelled backwards if you think about it. And you see, the word guru has been misdefined when even guru itself is not a person. It can be a person, but it's a spirit.
Ooh, I like it.
A guru is a situation. A guru is a step toward enlightenment. It's a realization. A dog could be a guru, even for a moment. A situation could be a guru. Your car could be a guru. If you're listening to the universe, and even an object, a situation, a bird is giving you the poetry of life and making you think a different way about a situation you're in, about your own enlightenment, about being trapped in this realm.
Snapping you back into it.
Snapping you back in. Ain't that real?
I like that a lot because you made me think that maybe gurus are just other languaged words, like guru's Indian or something, I imagine.
Yep.
Maybe angel is the same thing. Maybe when angels were referenced in the Bible, it was just people appearing in divine ways and bringing powerful messages that they might not have known they needed to hear at the time.
That's deep. That feels real, right?
Or like the burning bush with was Moses.
Yeah.
It's like, why is this bush burning randomly in the middle of the desert? This is God speaking to me through this.
Yeah,
what am I missing with this bush? I've never seen this before.
And there it is. That's
Right.
super deep, man. You know, something that makes you look at something in a different way. So true. Angel, like even the word angel is like messenger. It's called many times.
Oh, okay.
It's something that delivers, a message that you need to hear in that moment.
He's saying, look for the divine messages off of YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
got
agree.
it. Boom,
could
we
vibe with
figured it
that.
out. On to Mitch translates the Tao. The Spirit. The Spirit is with us. Tao 35. Grasp the great form, and the world will follow. Follow and do no harm with the utmost calmness and peace. When celebrating with sweets, passers-by will stop. Tao coming from the mouth is diluted and without flavor. When seen, there is not enough to see. When heard, there is not enough to hear. When used, it is inexhaustible.
Dude, I swear we did not plan this out. That went exactly with the quotes today again.
Wow!
The words dilute it. It can never be really heard.
Yes, wow.
That was all we talked about. There's really is no saying. That's why there's so many analogies to it.
Man, the poetry of it all. And the more you try to say it, you're like, that's distasteful.
But the first line also says grasp it.
Yes, that is very confusing. It's true. Grasp it. Can one grasp it?
But right, what do they mean when they
What
say,
do they mean?
What does he mean when he says grasp it? Because
Man.
from what I think it means so far is that it can't be understood or put into words, heard, seen. So
Right.
how do you grasp? Because touch, that's another sense in there. You know, touch, what the touch doesn't do it any justice.
Right.
So how can you grasp it? Don't you touch things by grasping?
Right. It's very confusing. When seen, there is not enough to see. When heard, there's not enough to hear. But when used, it's inexhaustible. This last thing, it's inexhaustible. So it's everywhere. There's a lot of it. But you can't really speak about it. You can't really see it. You can't really hear it. He's saying, just so you know.
It feels like that algebra graph that never truly touches the y or x-axis. Asymptote. Because I was thinking about the birds earlier when you said hear it and it doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're just listening to those sounds outside, it does it does fulfill you, even for a moment, kind of thing. But you still can't even put into words.
And then
what
once
that
you do, it's
sound
diluted. Wow, so deep, right? It's there. It's
Yeah.
inexhaustible. It's always going to be there if you're going to see it in the right way. That's cool.
But when I try to tell you what it is,
I'm like, I don't care about your bird in the tree.
yeah,
You know,
oh,
like,
nice, okay, cool.
Yeah,
All
but,
right,
but
what do
you didn't explain it well enough, and you never could.
And no one's going to be like, really explain it better. Get me, make me
Really?
feel like I'm
Damn, I
there.
want to be there. I want to hear you out, Evan. This bird sounds fucking cool.
And that's what the students were doing, you know, in the ancient classes.
The Tao is as a sweet treat. Much like the bird, the experience is a sweet treat. You feel, ooh, this is nice. So people have to stop and say, hey, what's going on? Wherever they see it coming from, it kind of, hey, is this real right now? Is this like a cool moment? Is this happening, brah?
Wow, I didn't even think of it like that. I thought sweet treat like a Danish or something like that.
Could be that too. You know, he's using poetry
Right,
to
right.
relate it. Like if you're cooking an apple pie, there's going to be some scumbags who take it from your windowsill.
Right. But sweet as in just like satisfying, pleasurable
Yes, exactly.
to the senses.
In that sense, something naughty.
Something different.
This gives me some imagery. It's raining, right? It's raining. Everyone's walking in the rain, but there's a guy selling bottled water, like some kind of like Evian or like, Fiji water. But it's raining. Everything is covered in water, full of water. You can open your mouth. I feel like that's what people are looking for in the Tao, and they can't find it. They want the Fiji version.
Yeah, where's the Fiji? It's raining out here.
Yeah.
Rain, go away.
But the Tao is the rain.
Yeah, whoa,
Or
that's
just-
cool, man.
But they want a candy coated
you want the name brand.
Yeah.
You want somebody to explain it to you. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Or a guy with an umbrella in the rain
Yeah.
when everybody else
He's
is
really
just,
thirsty, but he's carrying his umbrella.
all
It's
the
like,
water's right
"Dog,
there.
Come on. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a bucket.
Oh,
And you can sell your own water. And I think, the do no harm one was pretty interesting too. But I think, follow and do no harm. It's really unclear from the grammar, like who's following and who's doing no harm. It could be the one with the sweets or it could be the one eating the sweets. And I think when you're around the sweets, much like the Jesus guru mindset, you don't have to tell me thou shalt not kill, because if I'm there, I know that already. I think there's something to be said about that, like the sweet treat. You're in it. You're in the sweet treat. You're in the moment. That's the state that they speak of.
Dude, maybe Jesus was saying the 10 Commandments like he wasn't saying don't do these things, but he prefaced it with like, if you know the Tao and the way,
Yeah.
thou shalt not do
Gets
this.
all Asian with it, exactly.
A sweet could really be applied to anything. It could be the leaf on a river that's drifting by
Yes.
you. That is a sweet moment, but it's
Oh,
coming and
man,
going. You're
deep.
letting it go. That leaf, it's cool, it's new, it's not just water, it's something riding the wave,
I like
riding
that
the
a
water.
lot. Novel,
Right.
as Terrence would say. It's just a cool moment, and you're lucky to experience it. And the way to experience is to not take out your phone and take a picture of it.
Or try to capture it, because then you're stopping the cool, sweet thing that it's doing.
Yeah, I guess I just took it to 2024. And take out your phone. Touch a leaf? Gross.
Exactly. Yeah.
My God.
I'll just film it instead.
So I think it's what it's saying at the end. What do you guys think? It's just a force. It's not really substantive. It can never be like substantive. When talking out about the Tao, it'll always be lamer than the Tao itself.
Yeah.
Is that because
you're breaking the Tao to even mention it.
Yeah.
You have to bring it into an earthly form that us mere mortals can consume.
And I think the best way we found is like art. I say poetry, maybe because that's the ancient wisdom answer. But, you could kind of feel it if it's like a really good movie, really good book too. Yep. When you're in the story, you're appreciating a moment.
I think what amazes me most about that passage is that it seems like it seems more possible that mindset can be achieved when I hear you talk about it and hear all these ancient things written about it, because everything in nature doesn't need an explanation like we try to define ourselves and others. It just is. There is no hearing, talking, touching or smelling anything that goes on in nature. They just do what they do. They don't identify it the way we do.
They say the god of spring doesn't even know where the flowers come from.
Damn, that's deep. I like that.
And the Tao, I'll leave you guys with this. The Tao is much like light. We can't see photons, but photons are the only thing we can see. Thanks for joining us tonight. Catch us next time on Ancient Wisdom.